Way before I started making videos, photography has always been my first love. You can try to ask every photographer you know what makes the art of photography particularly enjoyable, and I'm pretty certain you'll get very different answers. I suspect that it's due to the fact that photography is a very personal experience, something that isn't easily explained through words, only through, you guessed it, photos. But that's not even the entire story. As a matter of fact, it's a very small fragment of it. A few months ago, I was asked by Sigma if I would like to give their contemporary line of lenses a try. Quite frankly, I was a bit hesitant, partly because I don't do lens reviews, but mainly because I wasn't sure if I'd even be able to put my experience into words. And sure enough, I'm still not quite sure. So if you're watching this expecting a technical review, I'm sorry to say, this won't be it. But what you can expect from this video is a sincere point of view from someone who loves photography. But before that, a quick background. My first real camera was a Nikon FM10 film camera. I was a freshman in college when my parents bought me one, and it started this small but very resilient dream of mine to one day become a photographer. My next camera was a digital point-and-shoot made by Sony called the DSC V3. It very much felt ahead of its time with its bright LCD screen and 6 megapixels of resolution. More importantly, I didn't have to use film. Then I moved on to my first DSLR, a Nikon D200, and following that was a Nikon D7000, which was my wife's gift to me on our wedding day. Each camera I got was a considerable upgrade somehow from the one it replaced. So you would think that each new one would provide a bit more enjoyment from the last. But it honestly didn't. You see, I was looking for something that would make my life as a photographer a bit easier. Better megapixels, better low light performance, and so on. For the most part, it did just that. But it also didn't make it any more fun. In fact, it was quite the opposite. It just felt that each upgrade was a step away from the experience I enjoyed when taking photos, whatever that thing is. I just didn't know how to describe it until I used these lenses right here. Sigma's contemporary line of lenses are meant to be compact, high quality, and affordable lenses. They sent me the 20mm f2, 35mm f2, and 90mm f2.8 to try out. They're all prime lenses, which make them relatively affordable. Each one of these lenses are priced under $700. And as for the high quality aspect, well, they definitely don't feel cheap. The construction is mostly metal, including the focus ring, which makes each lens feel a little bit heavier than what I was expecting. And in today's modern world of tiny portable technology that is meant to capture memories, it just doesn't make any sense. Except in this particular case, I think it does. I've been shooting with these lenses for the last few weeks, mostly family photos and occasional product photography. And you may be surprised to hear this, but also a lot of random, nonsensical stuff. And it was a fantastic experience for me. The aperture ring has an almost audible but definitely perceptible click. The focus ring glides very smoothly with just enough resistance to make the feeling very engaging. The colors are what struck me the most. I always thought that Sony's colors are a bit muted, so I just relied on post-processing to enhance them. With these lenses though, the colors hardly need any editing from me. I've used them both for photo and video, and I think they perform excellent for both of them. Autofocusing is silent, smooth, and fast enough. The bokeh is superb, and let me just say this again, it feels awesome to use. Going back to what I said earlier, I spent a lot of time taking photos of nonsensical things that I don't even care to share because it just wouldn't make any sense to other people. And this is exactly the reason why I couldn't explain my love for photography. Because the overall experience of looking through a viewfinder, adjusting the controls, and feeling that click is what I enjoy the most. Seeing the world through a tiny hole and reliving that experience in my mind. None of those are ever captured in the final photo. What you see is what my eyes saw. but not what my soul felt. The Sigma Contemporary line reconnected me with that experience that made me fall in love with photography many years ago. And even though this isn't what you would call a review, this is my honest and sincere experience with them. They perform wonderfully, they feel amazing, and they are priced reasonably well. But don't get them for those. Don't get them for the photos. Get them for the experience.